So imagine this. You're a child in a quiet province, no streetlights, just the sound of wind brushing through trees. Then, someone whispers, "Huwag kang lalabas, may aswang." And suddenly, the darkness actually feels alive. But here's the question no one asked you growing up. What if monsters were never meant to scare you, but something to explain you couldn't understand? Mabuhay! It's Patty Joe, and welcome back to another video. And it's been a long time since I created this kind of content or even this kind of topic, and I'm quite excited to share about what is the psychology behind the pre-colonial Filipino mythical creatures. So, before colonization, Filipinos didn't separate reality from the unseen because creatures like Bakunawa weren't just myths, they were answers. And when the moon disappeared during an eclipse, people at that time actually believed that a giant serpent was swallowing it. So, no science, no telescopes, and just imagination of trying to make sense of what is happening in the sky. Another thing is the aswang. Maybe it's not just a monster. Maybe it's something more human. Let's take a look closer. Aswang is often described as someone who blends into society, someone you know and trust until the night falls. And that's just not horror. That's actually psychological fear. Because the scariest thing isn't the unknown, but it's actually the familiar that turns dangerous. Some historians actually suggest that stories were used to warn people about the strangers, explain sudden deaths or illnesses, and even control behavior. And this is actually especially among young children. But it actually goes deeper because these creatures reflect human anxieties, the fear of betrayal, the fear of the dark, and the fear of what we cannot control. So the monsters were actually never outside, but it's a way to process what was happening inside. What if our ancestors weren't primitive for believing such monsters, but they're actually emotionally intelligent for creating them? Because remember, they don't have textbooks, so they build stories. Stories that made fear understandable during those times. They made chaos feel structured. And they made the unknown feel survivable during those times anyway. Now, monsters weren't just their language for trauma, but it's actually also for uncertainty and survival. Today, we actually don't talk about aswangs the same way, or bakunawas, chanaks, and other Filipino creatures that we might have been listening to growing up. But the fears, they're still here. They are just renamed. Toxic people, betrayal, anxiety, burnout. They're different words, but they're actually the same shadows. Maybe next time when someone tells you, kwento lang yan, maybe it's time to pause. Because maybe it never was. Maybe Filipino monsters were never just stories, but they were the maps of the human mind that are drawn in the dark. Thank you again for watching about this mythical creatures and the psychology behind it. Like and subscribe for more videos like this, probably. But yeah, nice to see you again and see you on the next one.